It only took one look, not the kind that studies or weighs or wonders, but the kind that remembers. As if my soul had been waiting in a long, patient silence and suddenly heard its own name spoken by a voice it knew before language existed. You didn't arrive with noise. You didn't need spectacle. You stood there ordinary to the world and impossible to me. Time did something strange then. It didn't stop. It leaned in. The air between us thickened as if the universe itself held its breath, curious whether I would notice that everything I had been searching for was suddenly standing in front of me, pretending to be just another moment. I felt it before. I understood it. A warmth low in my chest, steady, certain, unafraid, not the rush of infatuation, not the spark that burns bright and vanishes. This was a settling, like something heavy finally finding its rightful place. I knew you, not your name, not your story, not the lines of your life, but you, the shape of your presence fit the shape of my absence too, perfectly to be coincidence. And in that instant, the world rearranged itself around the truth I hadn't yet spoken aloud. We belong together, not in a loud, possessive way, not in chains or claims or fear, but in the quiet, ancient way that rivers belong to the sea without needing permission. You looked at me and something in your eyes softened, as if part of you had also been waiting, as if you too felt the subtle click of destiny locking into place. I wondered how many lifetimes it had taken for us to arrive at that look, how many wrong turns, how many almosts, how many nights we'd both spent thinking love was something that happened to other people. I wondered how many times we had passed each other in different forms, different eras, different skies, close enough to feel the echo, never close enough to stay. Until now, you didn't know. Yet what you were to me, you couldn't. But my soul did not need explanation. It rose up inside me like a vow remembered. There was a tenderness in you that didn't ask to be touched, only understood. A strength that didn't perform, that simply was. I saw the places where the world had been unkind to you, not as wounds, but as depth, as proof that you had survived without becoming small. And something in me made a promise, not spoken, not sworn, but etched quietly into the core of my being. If love is something we build, then I will build with care. If love is something we protect, then I will stand watch. If love is something we grow into, then I will grow patiently, fiercely, honestly toward you. You smiled, and the moment became real. I remember thinking absurdly that happiness looked nothing like I expected. It wasn't fireworks or certainty or grand declarations. It was the calm understanding that I was exactly where I was meant to be. The world didn't disappear, it simply made room. Every sound seemed farther away, every color slightly sharper, as if reality itself had adjusted its focus to include us properly. And I was happy, not the fragile happiness that begs not to be broken, but the deep, grounded happiness that knows it can endure storms, happy in a way that felt earned, happy in a way that felt shared. I didn't think, I hope this lasts. I thought this has always been. You were not a beginning, you were a continuation, a sentence my life had been trying to finish since the very first breath. And when you stepped closer, when the space between us shrank to something human and real, my heart did not race. It rested. That was how I knew, not because love shouted, but because it whispered, and my soul answered without hesitation. Yes, this one, this life, this together. And even before the words were spoken, before hands touched or futures imagined, before the world had any say at all, I was already yours. And somehow, impossibly, I knew you were mine too. You chose me. When the road bent unexpectedly, when words were hard to find, and silence weighed heavy between us, you chose me, not because it was easy, but because it was real, because staying meant building something stronger than fear. Through difficulties, you held my hand without needing promises. You showed me that love doesn't flee at the first crack. It kneels, repairs, and learns. It listens when voices tremble. It forgives before pride can speak. It believes even when doubt whispers loudly. Through laughter, you reminded me that joy is sacred. We laughed until time forgot us, until worries softened and the world felt lighter. In those moments, love danced freely, careless and bright, teaching me that happiness is not found, it is created together. Through happiness, you celebrated not just the peaks, but the effort it took to climb them. You rejoiced in my victories as if they were your own, and in your smile, I saw a future worth trusting worth choosing. And through everything else, the unnamed days, the ordinary hours, the quiet routines, and small rituals,